I was trying to protect you.
Save it, Andrea. I'm not interested in your lies. What about this, huh? What about this, right? What was in the real letter you sent? Now, don't bother telling me, because I can guess.
Look, Jude, I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt anybody, but our cause is more important.
Yeah, that's another thing, you and your bloody cause.
Well, you see, I think I remember one of the women from a long time ago. It's very awkward.
Oh, I see. Which one is it?
Well, that doesn't matter. It's just uncomfortable.
Well, if he loves you, it'll be all right. And if you love him, you'll have to tell him the truth. And you'll have to tell him now.
I know, Lizzy. I will. But how?
I suppose I'm interrupting.
No. It's nothing that doesn't concern you, Pete. Well, I've got to do something in the garden. Won't be here for much longer today. See you later, Pete. Door.
Bye, Lizzy.
The cops aren't after you, Peter. Mrs. Morris never dobbed you in.
Oh, no, I heard. I didn't mean to listen, you know.
That's all right. I should have told you. I meant to. It's
I
just...
know, Dora, it's all right.
No, it's not. I'm a mean, rotten bitch.
No, you're not. Look, I would have done the same for you, honest.
You don't mean that.
I do, love. It's all my own stupid fault.
What?
Oh, I mean, if I hadn't have panicked, if I hadn't have hidden up in the roof, you wouldn't have risked everything for me. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, here we are both hiding away, and now I'm in the clear and you're in more trouble than ever. It's all for nothing. Well, won't it go easy on you if you turn yourself in?
Yeah?
Yeah, but what?
Nothing. I was just being stupid.
What about?
Well, I was just thinking. Be real good if we could be together all the time.
Yeah. Well, why couldn't we? I mean, there's nothing to keep us here. We could go interstate, start a new life together.
It's only a dream, Peter.
Well, why don't we make it come true?
Because it wouldn't, that's why. Nothing I've ever done has turned out right.
Dora, don't put yourself down so much. Think positive.
It's useless, Peter. I'm a no-hoper. I've been in and out of remand homes and jail ever since I was a kid. There's a lot of things I've done in my past that you wouldn't want to know about.
Look, I don't care. I didn't know you then. I know you now, Dora. All I know is that you helped me and I want to help you too. Hey, what about North Queensland? I've got a friend up in Mackay. We could look him up.
But what if we get caught? You'd go for sure. Helping an escaped crim?
Oh, wasn't it, Mrs. Powell? God, I'd forget me head if it wasn't screwed on.
She's waiting for me outside. Have you two decided what to do?
Yeah. I want Doreen to stay with me. I mean, we can get away somewhere.
No, it's too risky, Peter.
Make up your minds. Listen, you can stay here as long as you like, but for God's sake, Dor, don't do anything stupid.
It's a bit late for that. But thanks anyway, Lizzy. Why don't you get going? I don't want Pal coming in here. I'd hate to get caught by her.
It's nothing to what Bee's gonna do to you when she catches up with you. Of course, she was real mad about that attendance centre.
Well, I never wanted to.
Lizzy!
Hang on, Mrs. Powell. I'll put him down somewhere.
Well, please hurry up. I'll wait in the car for you.
Sid took some pictures of his garden. I told her that I'd...
Lizzy, will you tell Bee that I'm sorry and I never meant to make any trouble?
Oh, she'll be all right, Dor. You know Bee.
Yeah.
Well, well, well. I didn't expect to see you again.
What?
Let me see if I can remember your brother's slogan. Count on low costs at Conway's Discounts. That was it, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't think you'd remembered.
Oh, I never forget a face, Jan.
It's Miss Conway to you now.
Yes, of course. Silly of me. You're on the other side of the bars now, aren't you? I must have looked right through the uniform. How long's it been? 10 years?
12.
Ah, yeah, you were on remand when I was waiting for my trial to come up, weren't you?
It's a long time ago, Bea. And it was all a mistake. They found me not guilty.
Yeah, you were lucky, weren't you? And, of course, your brother could afford a fancy lawyer.
I haven't seen Malcolm for years.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to rattle any family skeletons. A person's past is their own, I always say.
I agree.
Watch him up.
Get down to the recreation room with the other Smith.
Yes, I might just do that.
Bea, are you giving Miss Conway a hard time?
Me? Now, you know me, Mrs. Morris.
Yes, but Miss Conway mightn't.
Oh, we're getting acquainted. Besides, you know I like to suss out the new arrivals.
Damn things. I know they're in here somewhere.
Hey, if anything happens, with us, will Lizzy get into trouble for us being in a house?
No, we just have to say we broke in. I mean, Lizzy wouldn't have to know anything about it. Right, Lizzy?
Eh?
Well, if we do get pinched, well, you don't have to know that we were here, isn't that right?
Too right, three wise monkeys. Oh, here they are. I knew they were in here somewhere. Look at that. Have you ever seen such a gorgeous chrysanthemum?
Lizzy?
Oh, just come in, Mrs. Powell. I found them. Look, have you ever seen a gladdie as pretty as that?
Who are you talking to?
Eh? Oh, I'm just a silly old woman, Mrs. Powell. You're allowed to do crazy things when you get to my age.
What?
Sid. I was talking to Sid. Sometimes I can almost feel him in the room with me. Do you believe in ghosts, Mrs. Powell?
Let's go, Lizzy. And hurry up. I'm running late already.
And this is where he was going to build a pergola with roses climbing all over it.
Lizzy, sign the book, will you?
Oh,
Do me a favour.
sure.
Take Birdsworth to H Block if I have to look at one more photo of Sid's garden. Leave it to me. Come on, Birdsworth. I'll take you through now.
Thank you for taking
Bye-bye.
me, Mrs. Powell.
Janet? Oh, I'm sorry, you're busy, huh?
Oh, I was just going to show Mrs. Conway me photos of Sid's garden.
Oh, well, don't let me interrupt.
Ye gods. 2 days to 0 hour. As a next-door neighbour, she's got me worried.
Oh, she's harmless.
Well, I hope so. There isn't such a thing as violent senility, is there?
Well, I don't think Lizzie's exactly senile.
Well, I'm not so sure. She was chattering away to herself when I walked in on her. She claimed she was talking to Sid.
Well, perhaps she's got a one-way link with the other side. I mean, she's very fond of spirits, isn't she?
Oh, not of you, Meg.
She was alone in that house, was she?
Well, of course she was. You don't think she was really talking to Sid, do you?
No.
And this is how it used to look. Because you only got to turn your back and weeds keep popping up all over the place.
Oh, don't worry, Lizzy. You'll get it looking shipshape again in no time. It'll keep you out of mischief.
Oh, I'll never get it looking like that again.
Why don't you ask Davo for a Wentworth working party to give you a hand?
Oh, do you reckon she'd be in that?
May I have a word with you, please? Alone?
I got no secrets from Bea, Mrs. M.
Very well. Mrs. Powell said she overheard you talking in the house.
Oh, yeah, I
Lizzy.
told her that I was...
I've known you for a long time, and I don't believe you're the sort to talk to yourself.
Oh, you know what
Is
it's like when you
Doreen
get old.
living in Sid's house?
What? Of course not. I wouldn't let her stay there. Not after you fixing up me parole.
So you don't know where Doreen is?
No. I'd have told you if I did. Oh. I was talking to Sid because being in the house, it makes me feel sort of closer to him.
All right, Lizzy. Thank you.
And is she there? No. Now, we have no secrets from each other, remember, Lizzy?
Yeah. She's there.
Why, that stupid little... What does she think she's playing at? First of all, she wrecks the work project for everyone. Now she's trying to bugger up your release.
I'll be all right, Bea. Nobody's going to find out she's there.
Oh, yeah? And where do you think Mrs. Morris has run off to in such a big hurry?
When Mrs. Morris told me that the cops weren't after you, well, I felt sick. I know it was a rotten thing to do, and I should have told you, but I was just scared I'd never see you again.
Hey, I'm glad you didn't tell me.
Oh, it was real selfish of me. All my life, anybody I've ever cared about has shot through on me. Either that or they've been taken away. And I just thought that I couldn't give you up without a fight.
It was really good meeting you and all the others. I mean, it was starting to get a bit lonely up there in the roof. The only person I ever saw was Martin. Poor little bugger, I hope he's okay.
Oh, you'll be all right now. You're real lucky to have a brother that you're close to. Only family I've got left now is in Wentworth.
Yeah, listen, Dora, I've been thinking... It's all right, love, don't do anything silly.
I thought you'd be here.
Bloody Lizzy, she dobbed us in, didn't she?
No, she didn't, Doreen. If you had as much loyalty to her as she has to you, you wouldn't risk her release by being here now.
I wanted to stay here a couple of days.
Oh, Mrs. Morris is right, love. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to Lizzy to get her into strife just because of us.
Yeah.
You have to come with me, Doreen. I can't give you another chance.
Hey, you gotta go. We'll see each other again soon. I'll come and visit you.
What are you going to do? Go back to your parents' place?
No, they don't want to know about me. No, I'll just hang around here for a couple of days, see if I can get a job.
What are you going to do for money? I mean, how are you going to live?
Hey, don't worry. I'll think it's something.
Come along, Doreen.
Oh, just... Hey, see you again soon.
Will you be all right?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Mr. Fletcher in, Miss Conway?
As far as I know, yes.
All right, well, this is Doreen Burns, the escapee. I want you to check her in whilst I go and see him.
Oh, yes, of course.
I'll see you later, Doreen.
Yeah. Stand on the white line, Burns.
What for? You haven't got a charge to read to me yet.
Don't be impertinent. You'll be facing the visiting magistrate later. Now stand on the white line.
You're new here, are you?
I'll ask the questions, Burns.
Yes, Miss Conway. You want me to go and strip off now?
What?
For the shower.
You'll move when you're told and not before.
You won't be too hard on Dora if she comes back, will you, Bea?
When she comes back, don't you mean?
She didn't mean any harm. She just didn't think.
Well, it seems to me I have to do the thinking for everyone around here. Take Andrea, for instance. They are all whinging about what a bitch she is, but they leave it up to me to do something.
Well, she did get you off the hook with Fletch, so she can't be that bad.
What? But that was Mr. Fletcher's idea. And about the only decent thing he's done since he's been in here. And he wouldn't have got the ball rolling if it hadn't been for Jude and me. Like I said, if it wasn't for me, they'd all be like a mob of sheep.
Oh, aren't you come to the rec room, Bea?
No, thank you. I can do without arguments as to whether they watch Bugs Bunny or not.
Oh, you are in a funny mood lately, Bea.
What the bloody hell did you do it for?
You never think of anyone but yourself. We was looking forward to getting out to work.
You buggered it up for the lot of us.
Yeah, well, I said I'm sorry. What more do you want from me?
What happened?
Mrs. Morris came round.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, love. I tried to put her off, but she must have cottoned on or something.
Struth, Lizzy, you don't have to apologise to her. She's buggered it up for the rest of us.
Well, she meant no harm.
No, you need a bloody hard.
Bee's in a cell, love. Maybe you ought to go and see her.
She all right?
Well, you got to face her sooner or later, love.
She's just as bloody crooking you as we are.
Leave her alone, Hayes. She had her reasons.
Oh, it's all right for you. You'll be out of here in a couple of days.
Hi, Bee. I just got back. Mrs. Morris found us at Sid's house. She didn't dob us in, so Peter's okay.
And what about Lizzy? Harbouring an escaped criminal is a crime. Being in a house Lizzy is responsible for could lose her parole.
Yeah, but me and Pete agreed to say that we broke in, and that way, well, Lizzy wouldn't know a thing about it.
Oh, very good. Very thoughtful.
Well, is that all you're going to say?
Well, what do you want me to do? Pat you on the back for having the work project cancelled? Compliment you for the way you conned Peter? And tell you what a good idea it was to move into Sid's house?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Bee.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. Sorry you don't damn well think before you start acting like a rat bag. Now, how many years have we known each other?
I don't know, 7.
Yeah, that's about right. I was here when you were brought in from the remand home. Mari Winters gave you a little welcoming speech and you started blubbering. And I wiped your nose for you. And I've been bloody wiping it for you ever since. And the same goes for everyone else in this lousy hole.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Bee. I never meant to make any trouble. It was just that we were inside the house and then the cops were outside and I suppose I just panicked.
Yeah. Well, just for once in my life, I'd like to think that everyone wasn't sitting around waiting for B. Smith to say the word before they start and do anything.
I just don't believe it. Any other prisoner would have been sent straight to solitary until they saw the VJ. But no, Burns, she goes back to her friends as if nothing ever happened.
Well, Jim seems to think she's in enough trouble already with the extra charges for escaping.
And I don't know what's got into him lately. Smith and Bryant were virtually given a pat on their back for barricading their cell.
Well, I think he's showing some sense. Past records show that total repression just isn't the answer. What do you think, Janet?
Oh, I can't really comment. I mean, every prison seems to be run differently. I don't think I've been here long enough to make a fair judgment.
Oh, well, I've thrown in my 2 cents worth. Climb off the soapbox and go home.
How are your family coping with the extra overtime?
Well, Patrick complains, but oh, he loves that extra money. See you later.
Bye.
She likes to sound off, doesn't she?
Colleen's taking her job very seriously since Vera left.
No, I think we all do.
Oh, I'm not knocking her, far from it. Oh, by the way, that girl who kidnapped Mrs. Davidson is coming in on remand tomorrow. We'll all have to be on our toes then.
Well, it's easy for you to say. You don't work here anymore.
That's true. Janet, was Bea making a nuisance of herself earlier?
Bea? No, she was asking if I'd ever worked at Barnhurst.
Why? Did she recognise you from there?
No.
You just have to be careful of Bea. She's very good at pulling the wool over new officers' eyes.
Well, thanks for the warning. I've met her type before.
7 across, a flower. That could be anything.
Chrysanthemum.
No, it's got too many letters.
Oh, you can fit it in if you write small.
No.
You going to help us with the crossword, Bea?
No.
What's so interesting about that book she's reading?
It's that Braille thing she's learning.
Yeah, well, I might as well do something useful with my life. Gonna be in here until doomsday. Not like you, getting out in a couple of days.
Yeah. Saying goodbye to me mates again. I'm gonna miss you. Dor.
Maybe you should sort of chat up Davo and see if you can get permission to visit us. What do you reckon, Bea?
Well, I got a place to go to. That's a good start.
Yeah, a garden to pot around in, and a regular pension cheque coming in every week, and a pub down the road to spend it in. You're set up for life.
Sid always said he wanted to see me right. And he did.
Yeah, well, you better keep your nose clean then, for his sake as well as ours.
Don't you worry. I'm gonna go straight. A model citizen, that's me. I'm never coming back in here again.
Good on you.
No. Never.
Get a move on, Burns.
Oh, Doreen, I don't think it'd be a good idea to make a big fuss about Lizzy leaving. You saw what she was like last night. It'd only take one little thing to go wrong on the outside, and she'd be knocking off every shop in town trying to get back in here.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
No.
Come on, Burns. I've already told you to get a move on.
I've been waiting for B, Miss Conway.
Get going. And Smith, I want to talk to you.
You heard her. Get going.
Ugh, what's the smell? The drains must have backed up.
What's wrong with B?
What do you mean?
Oh, well, she's ignoring all her friends, sucking up to the screw. Seems bloody funny to me.
Oh, go on. You're imagining things. Been in a bit of a bad mood lately, but she's just a bit depressed, that's all. Happens to all of us.
What are you getting all dolled up for? Got a heavy day?
Yeah, Mrs. M.
Well, he must be worth quite a few bob, your brother. Full-page spreads in the newspapers, adverts on TV. How many stores does he own now?
5.
Oh, now, amazing how far a little bribery and corruption will go, isn't it?
There was no such thing.
Oh, yeah, I know. He conned you just like he did a dozen others.
Look, I didn't come here to talk about my brother.
All right, I'm listening.
I prefer that my last visit to Wentworth didn't become general knowledge.
I told you, I won't say a word. Besides, I might need a little favour from you one day, right?
I won't be blackmailed.
Who said anything about blackmail? Look, I'm breaking the habit of a lifetime even speaking to you like this. You're a screw, and I'm a con, and never the twain shall meet. You won't trust me, but I don't expect you to. But just treat me like a human being, eh?
I suppose I have to trust you.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence.
That Doreen...
What about her?
Well, her coming back isn't going to cause trouble, is it?
No, I've seen to that. I've already spoken to her.
She should be in the pound.
Oh, Doreen's all right. She just never thinks before she does anything. Look, she's a bit mixed up about a guy she met on the run. So just give her a break, eh?
It's not up to me.
Right, now you should take this to Social Security and they'll revalidate your pension book. Now, do you want me to arrange meals on wheels?
What? No way. I'm not an invalid. I can look after myself.
All right. Oh, there's an elderly citizens club in Oak Street. Now, that's that street right at the back of Sid's place.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, the membership is free and everyone is welcome.
I'll think about it.
Lizzy, you have got to make social contacts. You don't know many people on the outside.
I don't know any. All my mates are in here.
Well, that's precisely why you have to get out and make new friends. Seems to me we've had this talk before when you were released. We don't want the same thing happening, do we?
Will you ask Mrs. Davidson if she'll let me come in to visit?
Lizzy, you know it's against regulations.
Yeah, I know. But just till I get on my feet.
Oh, well, we'll see.
B,
That's me.
we was wondering, me and Hayes, that is, and some of the others, what you going to do about Doreen?
What do you mean?
Struth, B. It was her fault we lost the outside work. You're not going to let her get away with it, are you?
You feel so strongly about it, why don't you do something?
You mean you want us to give her a hiding?
I don't give a damn what you peck of school kids do. If it hadn't been Doreen that mucked it up, it would have been someone else.
We don't want to do anything without your say-so, B.
Well, OK, go on. Bash Doreen if that's going to make you happy. But remember, next week it'll probably be your turn.
Well, come on, ladies, move out. It's muster in 2 minutes.
I'd like a word with you, B. Won't take a moment, Mrs. Powell.
Right. Well, come on. Do you two need help walking?
There's a new arrival coming in today. Her name is Linda Goldman, one of the girls involved in Mrs. Davidson's kidnapping.
So what?
I want you to make sure there's no trouble. There's no point in the women reacting stupidly.
Well, believe it or not, they're all grown women in here. They don't need a wet nurse. And besides, I've resigned from the job.
Come off it, B. You've got a lot of influence around here.
Yeah, well, the screws are always telling me I don't run this place. You should be glad I've started listening to them. I didn't think it was your job either. Mrs. Parole Officer Morris.
Yes?
You wanted to see me?
Yes, come in. We've got a new prisoner arriving this morning. Linda Goldman.
Isn't she one of the kidnappers?
That's right, and I'm a bit worried that we're going to have some trouble with Hennessy. Now, you're on reception duty this morning, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you know the admittance procedures?
Well, basic training covered that.
Oh, good. I hope you attended the psychology classes as well, because I want you to have a bit of a chat with her when she arrives. Now, according to this, she doesn't seem to have any history of violence apart from the current charges against her. Now, I want you to settle her in, see what you can get out of her. Well, normally I'd ask Meg Morris to do this, but I'm not sure that she's going to be in this morning. Besides, it'd give me a chance to see how well you handle the job.
Well, I'd better be on my toes then.
Better get a move on. Pal's on the warpath this morning.
I don't think the world's going to come to an end if the corridors aren't scrubbed today.
You really get your kicks getting into trouble, don't you?
I'm just not prepared to submit to fascist repression, that's all.
Oh, cut the crap, Andrea. You just want to get put into solitary so you don't have to meet that friend of yours that's coming in today.
Linda? Well, why should I avoid her? It'll be very nice to have a friend in here at last.
An ex-friend, you mean? She's not going to be too happy about what happened.
What do you mean?
Well, the way you barricaded yourself in the cell with B and I. You sold your friends out.
That's a lie, and you know it.
Yeah, but it's an official lie. They believe it. Why shouldn't she?
I'll tell her the truth. She'll understand.
Will she? Well, you know her better than I do. See you later.
Oh, Mr. Fletcher, the new prisoner's arrived. They just run through from the gate.
Oh, good. Look, there's a single cell vacant in H block. Put her in there, will you?
Right. Thank you. Right, stand on the white line.
What?
Stand on the white line. You are Linda Joanne Goldman?
Yes.
You are charged with attempted prison breaking with violence, willful damage, kidnapping, 4 counts of assault and 3 counts of attempted murder. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You'll be held here on remand until the time of your trial. Go to the counter and empty your pockets.
Well, she doesn't look much like a terrorist to me.
Well, appearances are deceptive, Bryant. You don't look much like an office worker either.
Linda!
Carry on with your work, Hennessy.
Hey, don't worry about a thing, Lynn. I'll look after you. And we'll show them a thing or two now, eh?
What do you mean, look after me?
No talking, either of you.
How much longer have you gotten here?
Only 9 more days.
Said be quiet.
My lawyer said I'd be lucky to get off with 20 years.
Keep moving,
20
Goldman.
years!
She claims she's completely uninterested in Goldman. I always get worried when B gets indifferent. Often means trouble.
Yeah, well, normally I'd agree with you, Meg, but these days she seems more interested in operating that Braille machine. If and when it ever arrives.
Well, are you expecting trouble from Goldman?
Always expect trouble. Had to put her in H block.
Do you think that was wise?
No. It was the only single cell available. But that's not the reason why I asked to see you, Meg.
Oh?
Look, I get really sick and tired of playing the same old record about staff shortages, but really the situation has become critical. Now, the department still hasn't replaced Vera or Terry. Now, Joyce Barry and Jan Perry are complaining about the extra workload. I don't think they're going to stay very much longer.
I see. Does put you in a spot of trouble, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. That's why I phoned Mr. Douglas this morning with a very special request.
Well, what about?
I'd like you to come back and work at Wentworth as an officer. Just temporarily. Part-time, if you'd prefer.
Look, I appreciate the situation, Jim, but really, I can't.
We know the problems the prisoners face in here.
Yes, and I know the problems ex-prisoners face out there. I can help them on the outside, Jim. It's my job. It's taken me a long while to gain their confidence. I don't want to desert them now.
Oh, well, it was worth a try.
I'm sorry, Jim.
I'll just have to struggle on as best we can, I suppose. Let's just hope we don't have any more disasters.
Being on remand, you'll find you're entitled to a few more privileges than the convicted women. Now, it's up to you to make sure you don't lose them by causing trouble.
My lawyer thinks I haven't got a chance.
It's not the end of the world, you know. Look on it as a new beginning.
I could think of better places to be.
Look, you'll soon make friends as long as you don't antagonize people.
Friends? Who needs them? If it wasn't for friends, I wouldn't be here.
You may think that Andrea Hennessy has let you down, but you're both in the same boat now. There's nothing to be served by bearing a grudge.
I heard she thought that whole hostage plan up with that B. Smith woman.
Well, there are a lot of pressures in here. It's not easy to find out who's telling the truth. You'll soon settle in. It'll be lunch soon, and you'll have a chance to meet the others. In the meantime, make your bed and put your things away.
Well, g'day.
Hi, listen, can you tell me how to get through to reception?
Sure. Down the corridor, turn right, third on your left. But you're wasting your time because the security gates are locked.
Yeah, I know. There's a girl down there washing floors. I want to see her.
Oh, what do you want with our little Andrea?
Do you know who I meant?
Linda Goldman. Everyone knows you and Andrea were mates. Just want to talk to her, do you?
I just want to find out the truth about a few things.
The truth? Well, you won't get that from Andrea. I think you and I should have a little chat. Follow me. If there was a lying, conniving, scheming little bitch in Wentworth, it was Andrea Hennessy. She's done nothing but make life difficult for everyone ever since she arrived.
Look, she's been bullied by both prisoners and officers from the moment she arrived.
Oh, yeah? Who told you that?
She did. She smuggled a letter out.
Well, there you go, then. So that's why you kidnapped the governor.
Yeah. We were trying to secure the release of a political prisoner.
And your mate got killed. And you got the book thrown at you. And do you know what your little friend Andrea was doing at the time?
What?
Making deals with the acting governor.
Oh, she wouldn't call her a government lackey.
She told you how much time she got left?
Yeah, 9 days.
What about you? You should get, what, 20, 25 years? I suppose with remissions you might get out of here by the time you're 35. Bit of a difference, isn't it? Now, look, love, I've been in here a long time, 12 years. And it's not all that bad as long as you get on with the other prisoners. But you start treading on other people's toes, that time goes mighty slow.
Yeah, well, what about this B. Smith woman?
What about her?
Well, she bailed Andrea up in the cell and was going to kill her. Are you saying we have to bow to that sort of intimidation?
Well, you can believe what you want. All I'm saying is you can't believe a word Andrea says to you. Now I'm going to lunch. Want me to show you the way?
Yeah, thanks.
That's okay. Oh, any time you'd like a little chat. The name's B. B. Smith.
Good to see you again, Lynn.
Is it?
Now listen, you two may have your differences, but I don't want any trouble, okay?
There won't be any trouble, Julie.
Bit late to start talking about no trouble, isn't it, after all the blues she's caused? Don't you reckon, B?
Hey, look, I'm one of you now. I'm not making any waves.
One of us. That's a laugh.
What's wrong with me? Got the plague, have I?
I don't know what you mean.
Call it, will you? There's no trouble. I'm just talking to my friend. My very best friend I'd do anything for like 20 years.
Lynn, I didn't mean it to go wrong.
Oh, I
the way-
suppose it's our fault. Me and Ricky.
We do, B.
Oh, bloody Ricky.
About what?
Nobody does.
Well, it wasn't my fault.
Ricky's dead. We risked everything for you, and now you just don't want to know.
Help me!
Hey, break that up, will you? I wouldn't if I were you.
Help me! Help me! Julie! Help
I don't know what to do.
suppose if that's an official decision, that's it then. Bloody bureaucrats.
Well, what is it?
There's to be no police escort for Hennessy or Goldman to take them to the hospital. Keep it internal, the man said.
Why?
Well, they don't want the press to catch a whiff of it. Too much bad publicity already over Mrs. Davidson's kidnapping.
Well, what does it mean?
It means that one of our officers is going to have to ride shotgun, as if we're not short-staffed enough as it is. I'm afraid you're going to have to do it.
Well, isn't there anyone else?
Not according to this. No, I don't want you tied up down there for too long, so get their burns dressed and get them back here as quickly as possible.
Mr. Fletcher, I don't think I can handle this on my own.
You're a fully trained officer, Miss Conway. Besides, they're both in a lot of pain. They're not going to give you much trouble. Yes? Good, thanks, Ted. The ambulance has just come through the front gate. Here, you'll need this.
Well, what is it?
It's a release for your handgun. According to the department, you have to be armed. As soon as the doctor's finished examining them, get him to ring me. Unless they're at death's door, which I doubt, I don't want them staying overnight. I can't afford to lose an officer off night duty.
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
Now, put that away. You won't have to use it, Miss Conway. It's only meant as a deterrent.
I hope not. I don't think I could shoot anyone if my life depended on it.
Well, you better get going. I'll try and contact Officer Bailey. Get her to come down and relieve you.
Jim, I've just seen Officer Barry. What's happened?
Well, Goldman attacked Hennessy in the dining room. They managed to pour a boiling urn all over themselves.
See you later, Meg.
Bye. Surely Janet isn't doing what I think she's doing.
Hospital guard duty, I'm afraid she is.
You're not serious. She's just out of basic training.
I wouldn't have sent her if there was anybody else.
Well, what about a police escort?
Well, how do I know? Perhaps the minister had a fight with the police commissioner at the last cocktail party or
There's
something.
always Colleen or Joyce Barry.
I'm afraid not. They've just finished double shifts. I'm trying to contact Officer Bailey, but she doesn't seem to be answering the phone. I didn't want to send Janet, believe me, Meg. I meant it when I asked you to come back before. We really need you.
Look, you keep trying, Bailey. I'll go down to the hospital for a while, but I do have an appointment later.
Thanks, Meg.
Of course, she had it coming to her, didn't she, Bea?
Are you asking me or telling me?
Of course she did. Stirring all the time, spouting all that commie garbage.
Yeah, well, if you say, Hazel, now, if you don't mind.
But I thought it was you that arranged for that Linda to bash her.
Frankly, I couldn't care less about either of them.
Hey, they've been taken off to hospital.
Yeah.
Bea, we're talking about people being hurt here, badly hurt, and you're acting as though nothing happened.
As far as I'm concerned, nothing did.
Come off it. You could have stopped that fight before it even started.
Oh, so now it's all my fault, is it?
Yes, it is. 2 people are in hospital with severe burns, and you could have prevented it.
Go away, Judy.
Look, you got more control in this place than anyone.
I never asked for it.
Oh, well, you'll be the first one to come down on them if they try and take over, though.
Look, I've been in here a long time, and I've seen the Murray Winters and the Frankie Doyles of this world come in here and throw their weight around just to make themselves feel important. And you've seen the other poor buggers who come in here. They're so frightened they jump at their own shadow. Well, I may be hard, but I have never taken anything from any of them. And they're the ones who made me top dog in here, and I have tried to stay there for their sake.
What's the difference? You sold out the women for the Braille machine.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Judy. When I see girls like Andrea come in here, it gives me the tom tits. She's had everything handed to her on her plate her whole life, and she's a bigger ratbag than Doreen, who's never had anything. Well, for 12 years, I have tried to look after everybody else, because there was nothing for me. No future. No point in anything. But now I have got something useful to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm looking after number 1 for a change.
Well, that's the way to feel.
Yes, it is. And there are enough of you to run this place any way you like. So just get off my back, because I'm handing in my chips.
How's it going?
Oh, all right. They weren't burned as badly as we thought.
That's good. Well, I can't stay for long. I've just dropped in for moral support. I can't understand the department's attitude. I don't understand why they just didn't hand this over to the police. We've had 2 escapes from hospital already.
2?
Yes. B. Smith and Judy Bryant, both on separate occasions. They seem to have had the wind taken out of their sails. How's Goldman?
Oh, very quiet. I had a talk to her earlier, and she doesn't seem the violent type.
They never do. I'll have a chat with her.
Dr. McIntyre for reception.
Linda Gorman? I'm Meg Morris, parole and probation officer at Wentworth.
My parole through already, is it?
I also do social work now, if you have any problems.
Thanks. I'll let you know.
Well, what about your family? Want me to notify them?
Look, I'm going to be around for quite some time. There's going to be plenty of chances for us to get acquainted. Nurse Watson required an X-ray department. Nurse Watson.
And how are you feeling?
How do you think? She tries to kill me and they put us in the same room.
Well, I'm afraid that can't be helped.
But I can afford a private ward.
Maybe so. But the department can't afford 2 officers to look after the both of you. You're very lucky to be here, actually. Mr. Fletcher wants you both brought back to Wentworth. It was only the possibility of shock setting in that made the doctor decide to keep you in overnight.
But she attacked me. I mean, surely I've got some rights.
The only right that you have is to proper medical attention, and that is what you're getting. I'm afraid I have to go. I'll see you tomorrow at Wentworth. Look, I have to go. I think you'll be all right until Mrs. Bailey gets here.
Well, thanks for the moral support.
It's okay. Just keep your eyes open and don't let them fool you.
I'll be all right.
I'll see you tomorrow then.
Meg, I won't have to use this, will I?
Not if you're careful.
Miss Conway?
What is it?
I'd like to be moved to a private ward.
Mrs. Morris has already told you that that's impossible.
Then I want to see a solicitor.
All right. Mr. Fletcher will arrange it tomorrow.
Well, that's not soon enough. I want to see a solicitor now.
Then you'll just have to wait.
Oh, look out!
But don't make me use this, Coleman.
You wouldn't.
Not unless I have to.
Let's see, shall we?
You wouldn't have the guts to do it. Put vase down, Goldman.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you give me the gun and you won't get hurt? I've got no quarrel with you. It's that bitch I want.
No! Get back here, Lizzy!
Hi. How's Janet coping?
Oh, she'll be all right, I think. Did you manage to get in touch with Mrs. Bailey?
No, I left a message with her that she'd be duty officer for the night and came down here myself.
Guilty conscience?
No, me. No, I know Janet's too inexperienced to be lumbered with a responsibility like this. If anything goes wrong, it'll be a blot in her record.
You're from the prison, aren't you?
That's right.
You better get up to Ward 6. One of the nurses just reported a gunshot. She must have gone out that way.
Are you all right?
Yes, she's okay. No, get that maniac with the gun. She's gone out the back way. Come on. Come on, I'll take it.
I'll catch you, you snake! Look at the famous witches!
Please, listen to me.
Listen to you? I've done that for the past 2 years. We thought you were God, a real leader. Me and Ricky risked everything for you and we lost.
I cared about Ricky, same as you, but it wasn't my fault. We were just victims of the system.
That's right. Some more than others. Garbage.
Don't do it, Linda! She's not worth it!
Oh, please, Mrs. Morris, help me! She's gonna kill me!
No, she's not. Are you, Linda? There's a big difference between murder and attempted murder.
Attempt to do it? I'm going to do it. She's not fit to live. You parasite. You made fools out of us.
Put the gun down, Linda.
Don't come any closer or I'll kill her now! You're gonna have a hole in you just like the one Ricky had.
Listen, Lynn. Look, my folks have got a lot of money and we could get you a good lawyer and...
A week ago, you wouldn't have touched your old man's money with a barge pole. It wasn't good enough to buy you a lawyer. We had to kidnap the governor to save you.
Well, things are different.
Oh, of course they are. We got some good publicity out of that for a while. Till things went wrong. And what were you doing? You were making plans with the screws to save your own neck.
That was just a story put around so there wouldn't be any reprisals from the women.
Oh, garbage!
It's true, Linda. Andrea was held hostage by B and Judy, just as the papers reported.
How do I know you're not lying?
She's telling the truth, Linda.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then.